Welcome. Let's go ahead and try to understand what exactly a deployment is and how to write a deployment in a YAML file. So if we go to the official documentation of Kubernetes, so here we see that a deployment provides the declarative updates for pods and replica sets. We describe a desired state in a deployment, and the deployment controller changes the actual state to the desired state at a controlled rate. So we can also define deployments to create new replica sets or remove existing deployments and adopt all their resources with new deployments. What this means is that we can control whatever activity we want to happen inside our cluster on the pods with this deployment object. So let's look at how a particular deployment object looks like. So if we go to this YAML file, which is pretty much what we wanted to talk about here, we have a deployment kind as deployment. Basically, here you can provide kinds as different pods, deployments, or service. So here this is a deployment object, and its name is nginx deployment, and then its label with which it can be referenced outside is nginx, and it says that run three identical pods and then call those pods with the name this, and then these pods can be referenced inside the cluster with this name. And what does this run? This runs all these three replicated pods, runs one container whose name will be with this, image will be this, and the container port will be 80. In the container will run on the port 80. So let's go quickly go through the description. A deployment named nginx deployment is created because that's the name. The deployment creates three replicated pods indicated by spec.replicas field. So this will indicate that there will be three exactly same pods will be created. The select spec.selector field defines how the deployment finds which pods to manage. So here, if we see this one, spec.selector, this will tell that how this particular deployment object will find which pods it needs to manage, which means this is going to create an object, right? So how will this deployment know which are the three pods it needs to manage? And that it comes to know with the help of spec.match labels. So with the help of this, it's going to come to know it is going to match uh, spec selector match labels. These are the three basically the pods this particular deployment will manage. That's what we are saying. All right. Then we can of course have complex expression written here. What kind of pods it will be. So we can write a lot of things here. But simplistically, it's saying now that in this deployment, there are three pods that will be managed with app name matching this. And that's what you see here. That's what is given here. So the template field contains the following subfields. Pods are labeled app nginx and the metadata using the metadata fields. The pod template specification indicates the pod runs one container that's with name this and runs the image of this nginx image, and it creates one container with name this. That's what we have mentioned here. So it runs the name of the container will be nginx. It runs this image, and the port it will run on is port 80. And of course, the way we run this is kubectl apply -f and give the path. So if this is a URL, that's fine. If it is a physical file in your system, then also you just give the path of this file. So this was about the deployment object in Kubernetes. Thank you.